UNC hosting Clemson, noon on a Saturday. That's what's happening this weekend. That's the nuts and bolts of it, right? Is this the type of game that anyone anticipated when you saw at this point in the schedule that Bill Belichick's Tar Heels will be hosting Dabo Swinney's, at the time, top 10 ranked Clemson Tigers at the beginning of the year? This was one of the premier ACC matchups. It was the first ACC matchup for Bill Belichick.
And a lot of people were talking early in the season, man, especially when UNC played TCU. Man, if they get a win here against TCU and they beat Charlotte, and they beat Richmond, college game day coming here to Chapel Hill, like a lot of people were anticipating that a month ago. They really were. Even
if they lost to TCU, if they then beat Richmond handily, beat Charlotte handily, and then beat UCF by a couple scores.
Yeah, 3-1.
3-1 because it was assumed that Clemson was going to be one of the top teams in the country at this point.
Yeah.
Even if they lost their opener by a little bit, it was assumed that they were going to be, a top 10 program. Since then, about none of that has gone the way we thought. And because of that, this is the panic bowl. It is the how do your fans, how miserable do your fans make your head coach's life bowl? Like, that's what's on the line in this game. And it's in different ways because, and Dennis, you can correct me on this, but in my interactions with Tar Heel fans, both online, in person, of all varieties here in the Triangle, I think Carolina fans are outside of the super diehards, right? Outside of the ones that'll pay attention no matter what, they're teetering on fan apathy.
Oh yeah,
they're teetering on. Well, I guess this Belichick thing didn't work. I no longer have to carve out time on my Saturdays.
Trust me, we see the comments going, "Hey, you know what? I guess we traded in bad for worse. So why am I going to give my time?"
And there's the is it almost basketball season questions, and they're teetering on fan apathy. They're the I don't care, right? And it's almost because Bill Belichick is who he is and his theories about sports are what they are, right? The saying is be good or be interesting. He's not going to be interesting because he doesn't want to let anybody into, right? So while his personal life may be interesting, I don't think UNC fans are, super thirsting for another tabloid story. He's not going to let you in on the inner workings of the team or how they're going to fix things, right? We've been talking about it. He went on Tar Heel Live, did the coaches show this week, and Brian Murphy, the WRAL investigative reporter, pointed it out first. I saw it on Twitter. In Bill Belichick's part of the conversation, they didn't mention Gio Lopez or Max Johnson. That's the quarterback competition. If there is a competition, that's the who's the starter, how healthy is Gio. That's the juicy. That's the stuff. Didn't even touch on it. So if it's be good or be interesting, they don't appear to be good right now, and they're doing everything they can to not be interesting. So if you don't beat Clemson, there's going to be a decent amount of all right. I got my hopes up, but all right, we're going to move on. How's Seth Trimble looking? And then Clemson is teetering on the opposite. Clemson feels like they're one loss away, one unexpected loss away from an all-out battle between Dabo Swinney and anyone that cheers on Clemson, which I don't know how they got there. Dabo Swinney has 2 national championships. He coached arguably one of the top 3 or 4 best teams in the history of college football for Clemson. Right? I believe they went first team to go 15-0. And now every time they're in a post-game presser, Dabo is just combative. He's just, every question he's taking as an insult, and he's fighting back. So do you know what this game screams to me? Win one for your coach. Win one for UNC by any means necessary. Play well for your coach by any means necessary. For Clemson, win by 2 or 3 scores for your coach. That's what Clemson is thinking. Make it so they can have a relaxing, fun. Let Dabo get back to the folksy charm in the post-game presser. Let Bill Belichick get back to do your job. Like, they just give them a week off from the nonsense. Which makes it even more interesting because think of these. You can't get two more different coaches at the college level. As far as if you're just, you ready for a movie reference that I guarantee you weren't expecting, Dennis?
Okay.
Major League 3, back to the minors.
Okay. Was not. We're going to go on.
I remember I was sick as a kid, had the flu, whatever, elementary school, and my mom came back from the grocery store with a VHS of Major League 3, back to the minors, and that became like we're going to watch this one again. But there's a clip where Gus Cantrell in the movie, who's the manager of a baseball team, gives one of the, I think, and at the time I thought it was hilarious, funnier pregame speeches of all time, where he's like, I'm not going to tell you to win one for your teammates. I'm not going to tell you to win one for your legacy or to represent your family. I'm simply asking you to win one for me. And the manager is basically just asking a favor of his players, like, hey, go out there, win this game because I asked you to. Win one for the old skipper. If Bill Belichick did that to UNC and Dabo Swinney did that to Clemson, just, hey, listen, we work hard. I know all of you have aspirations to go on and play at the next level. You want to win championships. For this one, I just want you to win one for me. I want me to not have to answer hard, difficult, awkward questions and get mad at the media for a week. Can you all just do that for me? Dabo is a guy that's been at the program forever. He's got former players that swear by his tactics all over the NFL. When we talked with Cade Klubnik at ACC Kickoff, could not speak higher of Dabo Swinney. UNC, Bill Belichick's been there, 9 months?
Yeah,
some of the players have been there significantly less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Has he built the type of relationship to do, hey, win one for me, will you? They'll be like, oh, sure, and you are? Your coach? Oh, right. Okay, yeah, we're together. We're hanging out now. Neither team is making a run to the ACC championship. You know what I mean? I
guess mathematically UNC can still make a run, but realistically, realistically, though, let's be honest.
It's about showing everyone that the culture is strong enough to steer the ship back towards where you're supposed to be going. And that is something that coaches can point to. Matter of fact, in our market, right, how many times has that been the defense of Dave Doran? Things went haywire there early, but he was the guy to get them back on track, and they finished with a strong 6-game stretch, and that was the proof of how he returns and how he gets more investment. Well, which of these teams is going to do that for their coach? And it could start this weekend. It's on Saturday at noon in Kenan Stadium.
Well, I have a question for you in this, Tim, because I think you laid it out well in the sense of both of these programs can silence a lot of criticism right now by getting a win. But we also know on the other side, the team that takes a loss, the noise is only going to get even louder. Which program can handle the noise better right now?
It'd be hard to say anything other than Clemson. Although there is I don't know why I said it 3 times. I turned into all right. Although, I do think there is a built-in excuse for first-year coaches.
That's why I was thinking UNC.
I think it's really hard. Actually, no. I've talked myself into it.
Yeah.
UNC can handle it better. And it's crazy how this happens. There is a growing sentiment that the game has passed Dabo Swinney by. That his stubbornness when it comes to the portal or NIL or whatever it is has allowed other teams to pass Clemson, which, whether it's true or not, that's like a heinous allegation, right? They were so far ahead of everyone in the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
To, through your own stubbornness, whether it's true or not, have the perception be that you allowed teams to catch and pass. That is like you were really asleep at the wheel stuff. And maybe that's what Dabo's feeling, and that's why he's lashing out at the media. I do think, and this was exceptionally clear during the media availability and the clips we've been playing all week from Lombardi and Belichick, you can distance yourself from a bad first year by saying, this year was about setting the culture. This year was hampered by the fact that we had to turn everything over and put in our structures. Next year is when it all comes together. And you could even say, as they did, I believe Michael Lombardi said it, recruits are actually more receptive now because they want to play right away, and they see there's very few jobs that are etched in stone right now with the Tar Heels the way they're playing. So I am wildly surprised that is my answer. But I actually think Clemson, and I think Clemson is still the better team than UNC, so a loss to UNC would be like more of what's not supposed to happen. I think if UNC plays well, lose to Clemson by 1, that's actually seen as like progress. Where if Clemson loses by an inch or a mile, Dabo's going to be up there for 45 minutes just ranting and raving about whatever comes to his mind.